Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Smells Like. I'm Josh. So good to see you again. Or if you're here for the first time, welcome to the channel. This is a different kind of video than I've done before. This is actually a challenge that I have accepted and actually now completed. Kristo from the channel, his channel is Christopher Maves on YouTube. He is one of the veterans of the fragrance community, a guy that I've been watching and learning a lot from, literally from the start of my journey. He, about a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, he posted a video throwing down a challenge called the Cheapy Challenge, where he challenged anybody that, thought they were worthy of the challenge to choose the cheapest fragrance from your collection, the one that's kind of at the back and the bottom of your collection that you never touch, maybe that you don't think is the best, or you don't think that highly of, that you never wear, and wear it every day for 7 days in a row. And the fragrance that I chose was a classic from Davidoff. It's Cool Water. I chose Cool Water. For some, this is a masterpiece. I mean, I know like Luca Turin gave this 5 stars back in his first perfume guide. It has been around for 30 years. This came out in 1988. And this was actually the first fragrance that I ever owned as a kid, I think I was in 6th grade. My first cologne, my first perfume that I ever had. So, I have a lot of memories. I have a lot of preconceived notions about what this is, what it's for. I have chronicled my experience over the week with kind of some daily check-ins. So go ahead and stay tuned to how this challenge went for 7 days wearing Cool Water. Check it out. Heyo, so it is day 1 of the Cheapy Challenge. I've got my Cool Water rocking. It's been super hot lately, and so I was kind of worried that this one might be a little bit loud. I had remembered this as being kind of a loud, strong fragrance that really, people could smell a lot. And actually it's mellower than I remember. I haven't worn this in literally years. I really remembered it as being just like super aquatic, super loud, super generic. This actually has a lot more, there's a lot more to it than I remember. There's actually a lot of like an herbal stuff going on, a lot more going on than I remember. I've worn green Irish tweed a lot since the last time I worn this, and I had, always thought of it as being like way more natural, and this one as being, super synthetic and cheap. And to me, this actually reminds me a lot more of green Irish tweed than I had remembered. This is a lot more herbal than I remembered. It's a lot less blue, like it's a lot less aquatic than I remembered, and it's a lot more green and kind of herbal. So hey, kind of interesting. So far, changed my mind a little bit, so we'll see how it goes. Just day 1, so it's not too hard yet, just kind of dipping my feet in here. So we'll check in tomorrow and see how it's going. See ya. Hey, so day 2, wearing this bad boy here for Kristo's Cheapy Challenge, and I just got out of the shower this evening after wearing this earlier today, and nice generous helping after a shower. So day 2, honestly I'm already kind of tired of it, mostly because I made the mistake of starting this challenge on the weekend, and I always wear my niche stuff on the weekend, starting on Friday through Sunday, kind of as like a little bit of like an extra luxury. I always wear niche, like even if it's like decants of niche stuff that I haven't gotten yet or whatever. So kind of missed out on that. Relaxing all day today on Sunday, instead of wearing my niche that I wanted to wear, I rocked this bad boy, but still good. Still kind of learning to appreciate its nuances. But check in tomorrow for day 3, see how it's going. Day 3, and all I have to say is my dog's a fan, and honestly right now I think I might like this better than Green Irish Tweed. I know, it's a lot. My dog is pissed about it. So, I don't know, I almost don't want to say it because I'm going to change my mind, but hey, now I've upset my dog saying it's better than Green Irish Tweed, so there you go. It's a big deal. But I don't know, man. We'll see what I think at the end of this, but well, I better go see what my dog's barking at.
Day 5. This is the first day that I really don't want to put the same cologne on for the 5th day in a row.
Day 6. Well, I made it 7 days. This is the end of day 7. Wearing cool water every day for a week, so I have completed the challenge. And I gotta say, some thoughts have changed about this one. Some of my preconceptions about this fragrance have changed. My appreciation for this one has changed. And you know, some things kind of have stayed the same, but definitely has been interesting wearing this one for a week. So stay tuned for my thoughts on this one and just kind of an overview of the week. So as you can see, you know, some days I was really feeling it, and you know, one day I was really surprised and talking about how I thought I might have even liked this better than Green Irish Tweed that this gets compared to a lot. Now there are some differences. The opening is different. The opening of this is really kind of harsh and bracing, and the dry down is kind of a generic cologne, musky, woodsy thing. You can see that in the video there that I was kind of surprised by that. There were other days that I was so over this thing, man. There was one day that video is when I first woke up in the morning and had to put it on. You could just see by my face, I literally was sick to my stomach thinking about having to put this on. It was so humid and just muggy. And this fragrance really, it doesn't shine in high humidity, muggy situations. There were a few times this week where it was super humid and muggy. And this almost made me feel like a little sick to my, like a little woozy. But then other days when the air was a little bit more crisp, like, let's see, I think yesterday and today, the air was a little more crisp. Temperature was a little bit milder, still, you know, still warm weather, but a little milder. This really shined in those times. This though is very green, with just a touch of that aquatic thing that you get from a molecule called colognes. This kind of made famous, and then that aquatic note is in things like l'Odyssée and Aqua di Gio. That aquatic note that has become so popular kind of started with cool water, and so that's kind of interesting. But it's super green, super bracing. It has a literal cooling effect on the skin. That was one thing that was interesting about this I'd forgotten. It's very minty and cooling and bracing literally to the skin. And really for the first hour or so, it has this cooling effect where it's very fresh, a little bit soapy. There's kind of an astringent thing that comes from the lavender. There's a really loud, kind of piercing lavender in this. Really the only downside to this fragrance is that lavender. I'm not always the biggest fan of lavender, and you know, that might be the only part about this that I don't just love, but the green aspects I really enjoy. The heart of this is really where it shines. That's really where I enjoy this one. That's really where it's green and a little bit musky. It's definitely herbal. It's got that slight kind of minty thing going, that slight aquatic thing going, and it just is really fresh and pleasant. I actually got a few compliments with this. One person said, "Oh wow, you smell really good today," and I said, "Do you recognize? Do you know what I'm wearing?" They're like, "Oh no," and I said, "It's Cool Water," and they were like, "No way, that's Cool Water." So they hadn't remembered it like that. To me, you know, my bias was hard to get over with this one because all I can think with this is for teenagers. It's old and dated. It's cheap, you know, and so I really had to work to get those notions out of my mind, and and to really just clear my mind of all my bias with this. And when I was able to do that and just go with the smell, I realized that this is a fantastic fragrance. You know, it deserves the acclaim. Now, it's only about a 5-hour ride for me, and then you got to reapply. So I found myself reapplying this a lot, and you know, the first couple minutes of the opening are not my favorite. It's really screechy, astringent, synthetic, you know, and that lavender and that mint are right there, and it's just so in your face that it kind of turns me off a little bit in the first just couple minutes. But once it dies down, that's really where the golden time is for this. The first like 3 hours of this fragrance, it projects well, people notice it, and this is a crowd pleaser. Everybody liked this. It's just interesting. It's much more interesting than I gave it credit for. It is, it's worth more respect than I certainly gave it. And I will say, after wearing this for a week, I have definitely come to appreciate it much more. So I think that's it. Hey man, Cool Water, will you take the Cheapie challenge? What would you do if you? What is the cheapest one in your? What's the cheapest fragrance in your collection that you might choose for your own Cheapie challenge? Throwing it out there to you. Anybody want to take the Cheapie challenge? So let me know in the comments your thoughts. And if you'd like to do this again sometime, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that I can see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.